So I'm in South Dakota. It's day 52, maybe? I'm going to Wind Cave National Park, and I'm gonna go take tours of the caves. Hank cannot come, obviously, or Guy. So he's waiting at the hotel. And it's raining still, of course.
But historically speaking, Wind Cave became the first cave national park in 1903. So as we go into the cave, it's had 130 years of exploration. So as we go into the cave, we'll continue to explore the depths of Wind Cave. And at the end of the tour, we'll be about 225, 230 feet down in the low spot. We'll talk about the developments of the Wind Cave, where all these passageways go, and we'll go down about 650 feet down in the Wind Cave. And that's about an 8-hour crawl that gets all the way down there. So we won't have time to do that today. But we'll talk about the developments that lie far below, because we've only found about 5 to 10% of Wind Cave today. So as we head in the cave, I'm going to go over some basic safety messages.
How do I? Well, I thought you liked it, but I can't. Yeah. No. I'm good.
This is kind of creepy. Oh, God.
We go over wind and Wind Cave in that one room, so I'll go over it now. Wind Cave did not get its name by the wind in the cave. It got its name by the wind that blows in and out of the natural entranceways. So Wind Cave is an atmospheric pressure cave. Air is circulated based on what the atmospheric pressure is outside. So as you saw today, wind was blowing a little bit into the cave, signifying that we're moving from an area of low pressure to high pressure. The weather report signifies that because it says we're going to have a little bit of rain this morning, and it's going to slowly clear as the afternoon progresses. And Thursday it should be in the 70s and a little bit warmer. If air is gushing out of the cave, we're moving from a higher pressure system to a lower pressure system. During the biggest severe thunderstorms and big severe tornadoes, wind can gush out of cave at 70 miles an hour. This makes Wind Cave pretty unique within the national park idea as well, because most caves that you see will usually have air that will transport down during the summer and transport up during the winter. Wind Cave is constantly turbulent due to the amount of atmospheric pressure changes that you see within the cave and within the weather outside. Now we're here in the temple room. And as you see around here, you see Boxwork. Now Boxwork is our most famous feature. We have over 95% of the Boxwork in the entire world just in this cave alone. You won't find Boxwork in this type of concentration anywhere else in the world. Now cave tours have come down here in the 1890s, before this became a national park in 1903. They would walk down here probably for about 2 to 2.5 hours since they did not have an elevator. A lot of these passageways you went through today have been dynamited out since the 1930s. So you've had to stoop and duck under a lot of these passageways to get through here. It would have been a very tedious and very strenuous tour to get down into this room here. Flood and recede over time. When these oceans would recede, they would leave behind a white mineral called gypsum. Gypsum eventually goes into the rock and either dissolves away or becomes calcite, which is what you see up above. And these are calcite fins that you see up above on the cave walls and ceilings. What was once in those spaces was limestone and dolomite. And limestone and dolomite would dissolve away over time, even the calcite fins that you see up above. So this is what you call boxwork. Chemically, it's pretty strong. Physically, it's got the consistency of a potato chip. So this is what you call boxwork. It's the most famous feature in Wind Cave.
That's cave popcorn. 96% humidity down here, so I feel at home. I think this change in pressure is making my driver's elbow act up. Hurts so bad right now.
We're about 90 feet from the surface, so this will be the highest point we'll be on the floor. So we'll go down about 2.5, so this will be about the tallest section of the cave. So we'll see a lot of changes. Look right above, you start to see smoother limestone ceilings. There's two different geological theories why that could be. One theory is that water may have caused this to dissolve away. Well, once used to be an ocean here with release salt pockets of water. That salt water mixed with the fresh water and will start to smooth away at the limestone. And that's one geological theory. Another theory is that air could cause a lot of this rock to dissolve away. There's a lot of mysteries in wind caves geology that we don't know. The most commonly accepted theory is that probably air caused this rock to weather away over a significant amount of time. And as you go up into this cave, you'll see very, very few stalactites and stalagmites in this cave due to the lack of groundwater that we get into the cave. We get about 18 inches of rain here a year, but we lose about 90% of it to evaporation. So by the time the water gets down to the ground, we get about 1.8 inches of rain a year. 1.8 inches in the ground. Then the sandstone and the shale absorbs even more water. By the time the water gets down into the cave, we may get about a half inch to 8/10 of inches of water a year that seep into the cave. So the reason this cave is so dry is because of the high evaporation rates that we have in western South Dakota, and the sandstone and shale that sits above us, it absorbs even more water. That's the reason you'll see a bunch of dry features that are within this cave.
Albert, you would not fit down here. Anywhere. Really.
It's what we call frostwork. Frostwork. And I'll explain
Thanks
how
for
that's
that.
formed here in a second. Feel free to take a few photos. So this is frostwork. So I'll show you some cave popcorn in the last stop. So boxwork takes many, many years to form. Frostwork is formed by the groundwater that percolates down for the rocks in the cave. When that water pours out of rock, eventually that water will evaporate and will evaporate into calcium carbonate nodules that you see here called frostwork. Now frostwork is made of aragonite. So when it evaporates, it starts to crystallize and form these formations you see right here. If you go in other caves like in Utah and New Mexico, you'll see some of this frostwork in other caves as well. But usually frostwork grows in areas where there's lots of air convection, where air collects. So you'll usually see it grow under ledges or along ledges and in air pockets deep within inside. Okay, so this is what we call frostwork. And everybody take a good photo.
3, 2, 1.
This is what darkness is like in the cave. Lights off, please. Yeah, I agree with you a lot. This week's more like Montana than Western Montana than anything else. So this is what we call the Elks Room. So if you look above you, you start to see cave popcorn. So it forms when water evaporates off the cave walls and forms these calcite bumps. And I'll stop right here because this is where. Could I have someone play?
Hank and I are walking in the little town of Hot Springs, South Dakota. Apparently this river is fed by the hot springs and it's warm. It's actually 90 degrees, so we'll see. It's a cute little town. Lots of cute little shops. Hank's happy. Get out of the hotel. But an Indiana Jones marathon was on, so, you know. He wasn't bored. So the wind is blowing this way, and there's a deer right there. And Hank knows something is there, but I don't think he's even seen it. Nope. My dog, blind. Hank, there's a deer right over there. Did you see it? Oh yeah, you saw it jump. About time, you silly animal. There are little prairie dogs everywhere, just sticking out of their little holes. There goes one running. You probably can't see them because they're so little. But they're literally everywhere. All the little mounds are where their holes are. So Hank and I are driving out to Wind Cave National Park so he can go on a little hike with me. And maybe see a prairie dog. So we're hiking at Wind Cave National Park. So we're actually, and all these hills are actually above the cave. I don't know where the entrance to the cave is. There's only one entrance, and it's really small, they said. So they don't even have that many bats that live in this cave, just because it's not easily accessible. It's a little ground squirrel. Then we have this pronghorn taking a shit. Are you chewing? That's a big one. Chew that one. Last one, baby. Go up.